Vault 76 shielded the best and the brightest from nuclear annihilation, but set them up for failure. Here's what I mean. The vault was a spectacular feat of protection and comfort. The construction was completed on July 4th, 2076, to celebrate America's tricentennial, and it was properly sealed on October 23rd, 2077, with the inhabitants safely inside. Each unit, though small, included a dining area, living room, private bathroom, and separate bedroom. A terminal sat on the desk for communication and leisure, and a television for supervised viewing fun. And no unit was complete without a shelf for awards earned for everything from outstanding achievement to cleanest toilet. Beyond the doors, the dwellers could walk the path around the atrium. A soccer field was built in the center for recreation and competitive sporting events like the World Cup. There was also a gym, a classroom, a clinic, and a diner to enjoy vault-cooked meals. After all, only the best could be expected for the best and brightest Appalachia had to offer. The vault was also equipped with sensors to document changes to the world around the vault. But the vault itself didn't doom the dwellers. The people who designed and ran it did. Doctors, engineers, professors, and scientists were invited to live in the vault, professions that would be helpful to rebuild America into a powerhouse 25 years after the bombs fell. But curiously, politicians, lawyers, and other alumni from Vault-Tec University were also invited. You know, Vault-Tec University, which is well known for teaching their students only how to successfully run a vault. The dwellers were not selected for their leadership or giving nature. They were chosen for their knowledge and social status before the bombs fell. Along with the residents, there was also a security force. Their first task was to ensure all vault dwellers assigned to Vault 76 made it inside before the doors were sealed, by any means necessary. However, disputes within the vault were to be handled gently, with no physical violence, no weapons at all. Not that there were many incidents, a stolen Nuka-Cola cherry here, a shove there, and a very annoying lawyer that pushed the security stance on responding with no violence to the limit. And leading everyone was the overseer herself, a graduate from Vault-Tec with a personality similar to that of a mother. Her duty was to ensure all vault dwellers made it to Reclamation Day to be released out into the world. And here is where the cracks start to form. Bringing in the best and brightest seems like the best chance America had to rebuild after nuclear war. With a title like that comes a sense of entitlement, superiority. Of course they deserved to survive when billions died in Armageddon. They were chosen. If they ever thought about the poor souls outside their doors, they were quickly forgotten and small squabbles replaced all other concerns. Things like being placed in a job that they were very overqualified for. The award ceremonies were created to stroke the ego of every resident, as they were competitive at every turn. Though these were intended to keep the dwellers from pushing back against the overseer's authority, it also bolstered their sense of superiority over their lessers that were not chosen to be part of Vault 76. The dwellers also became dependent on the Mr. Handys, who did most of the menial work to keep the vault dwellers comfortable. But all of this was leading straight to Reclamation Day, and disaster. 2 years before the doors opened, the hydroponics wing was struggling to feed the dwellers, as the numbers were exceeding what the vault could manage. Food rationing was probably used, and more incidents were occurring between dwellers, though these were still minimal. One of the residents hacked into the computer's mainframe and learned what the outside sensors were picking up. Mutant cannibals, acid rain, monsters, radiation. Fear and rumors started to spread, and many wanted to keep the doors sealed. Security pleaded with the overseer to let them arm the dwellers for the outside, but she refused. They were only to receive the designated reclamation or rec packages. We'll get back to those in a minute. Leading up to the fateful day, the dwellers started to form alliances and plan who would team up with who. Some in the security department knew that the residents were a formidable lot, but without a guiding hand, they would cause harm and chaos to the outside world. And as someone who plays a raider in Fallout 76, I concur. So the dwellers weren't mentally prepared for their duty to rebuild America, but the rec packages sealed their fates. On Reclamation Day, each dweller was to follow a series of standees and walk through a refresher course on how to survive the apocalyptic hellscape that they were about to step into. They were given 1 bottle of clean water, 1 rad X, 1 stim pack, 1 radaway, 1 backpack, 1 party hat, 1 construction and assembly mobile platform, camp, and 1 pair of glasses and a pen. No gun, no armor, no food. Hell, they weren't even given a change of clothes. A bright blue jumpsuit screams easy mark. At each station, they were also given stellar advice, such as meet strangers, fight violently, and survive in style. The dwellers were not prepared for their duty mentally or physically, and that's where this whole conversation is leading up to. Vault 76 was an experimental vault to test the success of a group that was emotionally and physically ill-prepared for the world outside. At every turn, their ego was bolstered by talks of them being the best and brightest, earning awards for very minor things, and reminding them just how important they were. 25 years of that will make any person start to believe it. Though it's unclear what sort of physical and mental preparation the dwellers went through during those 25 years, the information they were given before they walked out those vault doors was laughable, and the gear that was provided in their reclamation packages was barely enough to get them through the first day, let alone give them the supplies necessary to rebuild America. The Overseer, their guide and mentor over the last 25 years, had a mission of her own and would not lead them once the doors opened. Without her to keep them in line, they were destined to cause more chaos in Appalachia, not reclaim it. And let's not forget that the Overseer was tasked with securing nuclear silos. Vault 76 did not prepare the dwellers for survival. It pushed a sense of entitlement, superiority, and chose not to give them even the basics that they would need. And if you thought Vault 76 was bad, that's nothing compared to Vault 51.